Hello, magical souls. It's Marie here. I'm jumping on this Friday afternoon. So I was just having a little chit chat with my divine team and decided to come on live to share with you 4 Arcturian Channeled Messages for people and souls who are here to make an impact in the world. So I was just having a lovely conversation with them, and I was guided to come on here and share these with you. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've just written down the 4 points because I was just in conversation with them. We were talking about, what the energies are at the moment, and more people, and you might be one of them, who is really feeling like you're here to make a difference. So if you're tuning in right now and you are kind of feeling like, oh no, I'm not one of those people, and it feels a bit disappointing, I encourage you and invite you to stick around for the message, because if you feel disappointed by it, it means that you are one of those people. So welcome here. And a lot of people are now starting to step into this realization that they are here for more, and they are here to help create planetary shifts, as large as that sounds. That's a lot of it. A lot of it is why we are here. So this message is for you. So stick around. If you feel the pull, even if it doesn't make sense, these messages and these words will land on you if they're meant to. So I'm going to directly channel, but I've just written down some four points so we can stay on track in this live stream without going on too many tangents, because I love going on tangents sometimes. So number 1 then, to you, magical soul, is trust the vision you have been given. Trust the vision that you have been given. So message on that is to remind you that, and you may have heard this message before, but it's worth reminding you, is that you came into this lifetime with a blueprint, an intention, a very clear plan as to why you wanted to come and what you wanted to create. This doesn't mean that everything is mapped out in advance, because of course you have free will and you are a creator being, so you can shift and change directions, trajectories, but know that the essence of what you're here to create, and it often comes in the form of a knowing or a vision, and it comes through sometimes in a non-logical way. We want to encourage you to trust the vision that you were given, because it is a very real aspect of your incarnation here. And so some of you have a very clear vision. Some of you, the vision is starting to come through, and perhaps you are doubting it. Perhaps you are feeling as if it's your imagination, or that it isn't really valid, or that it isn't really real or possible. So we want you to know that the visions are very real. What you imagine, what you daydream, the quiet ideas in the background, perhaps, they are very real. So trust the vision that you have been given. And for those of you who are a little bit lacking in clarity right now, know that if you stay the course with it, the visions and the ideas and the concepts will start to come in more clearly for you. So there'll be a time when almost like the clouds part, and you will be able to receive more clear steps. So some of you are further along in that you already know. So really just trust the vision, allow yourself to move forward on that, because you came in with it. And a note on that they want to share with you as well, that impacting the world can look in so many different ways for so many different people. Some of you are still holding on to this belief that impacting the world has to be about healing, or a certain job title, a certain profession, that you have to look or sound a certain way, that you have to use certain language. And we want you to drop this old paradigm and know that impacting the world can come from any direction. Impacting the world can come from any profession, any job or lack of job, any financial status, relationship status, all of these earthly bound things. Impacting the world can come in many shapes and forms. How you think and feel and breathe impacts the world. Your intention, your heart impacts the world. So there are a lot of ways that you can impact the world. So release the idea that it has to look a certain way or fit into a certain category. Allow yourself to swim in expansive waters. Okay, good, I like that. Okay, So I'll just take a moment, because sometimes when I channel, it's like it's a whooshing through of a lot of energy. So I'll just let you ground into that one as well. Give myself a moment. Okay, and then number 2. Okay, yeah, this is a message that I've shared many times before, but it felt really powerful to come through today. Is know that you and your presence here is highly significant. So a little bit off the back of the message I just shared, because impacting the world looks in so many different shapes and sizes and forms, your presence here in all states, no matter what you're thinking, feeling, experiencing right now, whether you feel like you're successful, maybe you're flying high, maybe you don't feel like you're successful and there are a lot of changes you wish to make, wherever you are on this journey, we want to share with you that you are highly significant. Your very presence here makes a difference on the earth plane, and many of you do not realize this. You perhaps are diminishing your own powers through some ideas that you've picked up, and many of you are perhaps believing that you have to be in a high vibration in order to assist. And so we want to help you relieve yourself of that pressure, because your very presence here, being the being that you are, does not mean that you have to be in a high vibrational state, because of course there are times when you are not. You will have experiences. Some of you are experiencing them now. Some of you may experience them. Some of you have experienced them. Times in your life where you have not felt very pleased with your experience. Perhaps you have felt very low and all sorts of different emotional states. And so we want to encourage you that part of the journey here is for you to heal and grow and release and move through and experience all different types of experiences. And so you do not have to give in to the pressure that in order to help the planet or impact the world, you have to be in any state other than the one you're in. And so we want to highly encourage you to give yourself so much love, and to know that the more you are aware and conscious of how you are feeling and thinking, you can shift and grow over time. And this is an evolution that you will be experiencing through this entire lifetime, as you have done in many other lifetimes. So releasing that pressure, as some of you are experiencing this one, itchy nose, that you have to be in a high frequency or a high vibration. We want you to know that you are helpful and significant and powerful in all states. But yes, many of you are on the journey of shifting in frequency because of the healing work and the growth work that you have been doing in this lifetime and previous lifetimes. Okay, good. Yeah, and that message, I've shared that message quite a few times if I've done channeled sessions with people or any kind of sessions. That one comes up quite frequently because, yeah, we do have these beliefs, right, that we have to be in a certain state to be of impact. But we are, just by, they often say again, you know, just by being present in this lifetime, you being here right now is really helping. And it's such a shame that we don't always get it, we don't see it. But when we leave this life, we'll totally get it and we'll say, oh my goodness, wow, what a ride. So the idea here is to help amplify that right now, and for you to maybe feel some of that, even some of it right now, that you are highly significant. Thank goodness that you're here. I'm really pleased that you're here. Okay, number 3, okay, tune into that quiet, consistent niggle that you have. That quiet, so we're talking more of the quiet niggle in the background that maybe it's easy for you to dismiss. Crazy ideas, they're too big. How can I achieve this? How can I do this? This is not possible. All of those types of beliefs. Paying attention and opening a door to the little niggles, and they're saying some of you have niggles that are actually getting quite loud. So if that's you, you'll know the niggles are more kind of loud, shrieking. Yeah, I've definitely had some of that. But some of you have got the smaller, quieter niggles in the background. It's like they kind of hover in the background And it's there, those ones are easy for us to just sort of dismiss because we're too busy living the other life, right, the human life. So we want to encourage you to make some space. What if you were to allow yourself to sit either in reflection or with a pen and paper or a laptop device or whichever method serves you? And what if you were to make space and to allow those niggles to come through, to allow them to materialize in thought form, and you will perhaps have an accompanying vision or inspired idea or download or something that stirs you inside of you, a little idea, an aspect that comes in, the quiet niggle that even though you distract and move away from it, it is still present. So for some of you, that may be that job that you really wish to step into. Maybe it's the area of study. Maybe it's something to move you forwards on your growth. Maybe it's to read a certain book or to take a certain action. Maybe it is to move somewhere, to leave a relationship, to enter a relationship. There are so many ways, but allow the little niggle to be given some time. Breathe some life and some love into it, because this is your soul whispering to you and reminding you that you have reasons for being here. What are the little niggles and how can you give them some space? I love that, because I've always had niggles, right, throughout my life. If any of you read my book, Above and Beyond, I kind of talk about it. It sort of goes through the theme of the book where I talk about I had a niggle. I had like a little kind of thing at the back of me where I knew something else, right? And so many of us have this, but if we don't give them the time and space, life can just, you know, grab us by the hand and yank us over here and actually take us off path. And we, like we said, you know, earlier, we come in with a soul blueprint and there are reasons that we chose to be here. So those niggles are so important, and they will often, you know, the niggles bypass the conscious mind, because we're trying to sometimes decide decisions or steps forward from the logical mind, and actually that's just pros and cons, and you can go back and forth all day long, even for years. But if you drop down and kind of let your body whisper to you, what is the niggle? What is that little voice outside of you trying to tell you, trying to get your attention? And do you have the courage to breathe some life into it, right? That it can be a like magnificent, magical way to expand in your life, your business, your creativity, whatever area. So I love that. And then the fourth message for you today is focus on where you're headed, but also ground. So this is a message to help you, they're saying balancing out the energies. So some of you are really good at grounding and being present and actually being fairly sensible in a way with where you are and what you're doing, and then perhaps you don't allow yourself to look too far ahead. You don't maybe allow yourself to see what's over the horizon, because you're keeping yourself in realistic expectations which are very narrow. Some of you are really good at stepping into the vision and seeing it out there and really seeing it expansively, but then it is challenging for you to be present in the now, in your actual physical body. So message is to try and practice balancing both. So holding the vision, they say, focus on where you're headed. So have that kind of one part of you that's focused. You can see maybe some of where you're headed, you may not always know, but where you want to go, but then also bring yourself back to now and ground in. So typical things you've heard many times, but they're so important: breathing, grounding, giving yourself time for integration. So kind of having, the way I see it is foot in both camps, right? Grounded, practical, in the now, breathing in the moment, just being present, but then also one eye over the horizon, allowing yourself to see the bigger picture, the vision. It might be for your personal life or business. It could be even a vision that you have for the world. Whatever way it comes to you, allow that in. So just kind of, and ask yourself as well, which part of that is in need of a little bit more attention or practice. Because when I have clients come to me, I'd probably say that most people I work with have a tendency to do one more than the other. So that's why I love the phrase, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground, because it's kind of like a personal philosophy that I've adopted over the years, and I've always tried to live with both. So I can kind of see sometimes when someone comes into my space where I can know, and it's usually the intuitive, open types of souls who can connect, but then they have trouble more grounding things or creating tangible things in the world and really making the physical manifestation. And then you have other people who are really good at that, and they're very grounded and they've got all the practical strategy stuff, but then for them it's more about opening up into the vision and seeing that bigger picture. So it's a lovely balance. So just ask yourself which one of those, if any. Maybe you've got a balance, but maybe there's one more than the other that you feel like, yeah, you could do a little bit more of attention on that. So that is it. 4 Arcturian channeled messages for you. Could be for anyone really, but this is specifically a little bit more tailored to souls here to make an impact. And I think there's something else that wants to come through on that. Yes, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for your presence. We want to thank you for having the courage and bravery to step out of what many people around you are following at the moment. We want to encourage you, love you, reassure you, remind you that all is unfolding the way that is helpful for humanity. And so even though you may be experiencing discomfort, you may be experiencing some struggle in certain areas, perhaps you may be feeling some very real human emotions around what is happening maybe in your communities or the world on a bigger scale, and we know that this is not an easy journey for you to be experiencing, but we want to give you so much love and encourage you, reminding you that there is so much unfolding behind the scenes that you will not necessarily be able to see or know about from where you stand in your physical shoes. And so we want to encourage you and remind you that what is happening on the earth plane is like a developmental stage. So if you imagine, if you are looking at a small child who is perhaps dropping things, wobbly on their feet, they are learning and growing, you understand and give them patience and know that there is a developmental stage for them to move through into adulthood. And so this is what is happening on a collective scale. So take heart when you start to look at pockets of the world that feel distressing or difficult or challenging. Take heart and know that there is a development happening, and you cannot rush human development. You cannot rush through a shift in consciousness, and you cannot speed the process of massive evolutionary change on the planet. And so we just remind you of this perspective so that you can breathe a bit easier and give yourself time to really focus on the creation of your life as well as looking at the world, and know that your very presence here is making a huge and significant impact, and we thank you so much. Okay, thank you. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed receiving those messages. I hope that some of those energies you could feel wherever you needed to feel, and take whatever resonates with you, release whatever doesn't, and know that you're loved. So that is it. I wanted to share that just to end the week, Friday afternoon here in the UK, or early evening now. So if you have any questions, anything that comes up, feel free to comment below. I'm always checking back in with comments, so wherever you're watching this, I can check in with comments. I'll leave the link somewhere around here. Wherever you're watching this, you can just check out what I've got available. I've got various different things, ways to work with me, my book, podcast, social media platforms, and so on, if you want to connect with me on any of those. So I send you so much love, and yeah, I second that. Thank you for being here and for connecting with me here on this page. And yeah, we are all here co-creating, and we are making a massive impact here, and we're going to continue, right? So we're just going to continue, and it's going to get stronger and brighter as the years roll by, right? So I send you lots of love. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you very soon. Okay, take care.